strange political phenomenon. It's been happening over and over and over again. But in the last week, it has really blown up. First, there was the issue of campaign cash. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell led the filibuster against his own ideas on campaign finances last week. He helped block a vote on a bill that would have required, say, unions and big corporations to disclose their funding of political ads. This after years of speaking out for and co-sponsoring legislation that would have enacted exactly that. The Lexington Herald-Leader, one of the senator's home state newspapers, kindly pointed this out in a weekend editorial, that in 1989, Mitch McConnell and Harry Reid together introduced legislation that would require groups and individuals making big donations to give up their anonymity. But now Mitch McConnell is against his own idea. After decades of talking about how important it was for donors to disclose who they were when they were making political contributions, when presented with a bill that does just that endorses his own ideas, Mitch McConnell leads the charge against himself. Then there was aid for small businesses. If you have ever heard a Republican public office holder speak about the economy, you have probably heard a Republican public office holder talk about how much our economy depends on small businesses and how badly small businesses need government help.
Until we get small businesses working again, we're not going to get the economy working again. That's why we ought to be promoting policies that will help small businesses.
Nearly every major piece of legislation this Congress has considered has had painful consequences for small business.
House Republicans believe in our hearts that the core business of America is small business.
So propping up small business is really important to Republicans, right? I mean, if Republicans could do one thing to fix the economy, it would be to help small businesses. They keep saying so. And as luck would have it, Republicans got just what they wanted, a bill that would not only help small businesses, but a bill that would do it in the way Republicans want it to be done, with expanded loan programs and with tax cuts. So what do you suppose the Republicans did to the small business loans and tax cuts bill? They filibustered it. They blocked it. They prevented aid to small businesses from even coming up for a vote. They are vehemently opposed to themselves, vehemently opposed to their own ideas now. But perhaps the crowning weirdness of all of this weirdness is the energy bill. We learned today that the Senate is shelving the energy bill at least until after the recess, the August recess, because Democrats can't find even a few Republicans who are willing to support it. This is now the wussy little bill that once upon a time was the comprehensive energy reform bill that included a cap-and-trade system for cutting down carbon emissions. Why was that in there? Because everybody agreed they wanted to do it. John McCain and Sarah Palin campaigned on cap-and-trade not that long ago.
Joe Lieberman and I, my favorite Democrat, and I have proposed legislation which is called cap and trade.
He's got a good cap and trade policy that he supports.
So this cap and trade, that there will be incentives for people to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. It's a free market approach.
John McCain proposed legislation calling for mandatory caps on global warming gases or CO2 emissions. Do you agree with that?
I support his position on that, absolutely.
That's what they were for in 2008. They ran on cap and trade. Cap and trade was a Republican idea. It's what the Republican ticket ran on in 2008. Now that it is also something the Democrats want, well, here's what your presidential and vice presidential runners-up have to say about cap and trade now.
I have to address a little bit of the cap and tax, is what I call it, not cap and trade, and the devastation, as was already suggested, that it would have on our country if it were to pass.
I will not and cannot align myself with a giant government slush fund.
Even worse than the financial hits that our country and we as individuals would take with cap and tax, it would so disincentivize work ethic and industry and production because we are so reliant on our energy sources.
It's cap and tax. It's cap and tax.
How do you campaign against people who are simultaneously both for and against every major policy issue facing the nation? This is not a rhetorical question. I do not know the answer to this question, but it is how Republicans are running. And this is an election year, so Democrats are going to have to figure it out.